Welcome down, welcome down. Thanks for listening to another episode of Those Nerds You Know. My name is Ethan.
I'm Eddie.
And we are Those Nerds You Know.
Hello.
Woo!
Woo!
So, this week...
What do we do this week?
Last week. Yeah. This week we're going to talk about what we did last week, like we normally do, which is we went to PAX South.
PAX South 2018, San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio.
Good old Riverwalk
by
the Alamo.
Oh, gosh.
Such a beautiful place.
It's beautiful. Great location. Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. Really good. It was my first PAX.
It was my third PAX.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been there 3 times. It's my third year.
So I think the first time you mentioned it to us, we were at San Japan, and you went, I think, that year without me or David.
Yeah.
And then you went another year with David, and this is your first year going with me.
Because I skipped one of the years. It's fourth year, but I only went 3 times.
I was going to ask you that. Okay, so it's 4 years old.
Yep.
Cool beans. PAX South, obviously, there are other PAX of other directions, cardinal directions and such. PAX West, PAX East?
Yeah, and PAX Unplugged and PAX Australia.
Right. What's the OG PAX?
That would be PAX Prime, which is PAX West, I believe, which takes place in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle.
Yeah. PAX means Penny Arcade, too. It's the Penny Arcade Expo.
Penny Arcade Expo.
Guess we should have started with that,
That's
but
okay.
it's fine.
Makes sense. Penny Arcade Expo.
It's a webcomic. It was a webcomic.
Really?
It is, yeah.
Huh.
That's how it started.
Interesting. That's neat. But it's essentially become a big showcase for games.
Yeah, it's like a secondary E3 of sorts.
Right. Yeah. So, but
without the big
news and reveals.
Yeah,
and things.
I mean, there are some that actually do that sometimes.
Okay, gotcha.
But PAX South isn't as big yet, so people like Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft don't really save reveals for it.
Yeah,
but they have at like PAX West and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty good.
It was. I must say, I had a lot of fun. It was a good time. And like we said, it's a gaming thing. So there's video games, but there's also board games, card games, and it's full of basically. You've got this full range of just like a guy who's made a game in his basements off of a Kickstarter maybe, and he's just trying his best to show it to someone. All the way up to
Capcom, who had Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World there
was the biggest.
Gosh,
display.
It was cool. Yeah, it was
a gigantic dragon coming.
Big old freaking dragon. I took several pictures. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Gosh, and I waited in line with you for an hour and left because I had other things to get done. But you.
Yep, I stayed.
You stayed. You got through it.
And what's funny is that we only went like it only took like 30 minutes after you left.
I imagine.
Miss out.
Yeah. That's fine. Anyways, it's okay. I did get some good Metroid Samus Returns playing in while I was in that line.
Yeah.
So I played that the whole time.
That's true. And I watched you die multiple times.
I died a lot. It was a bit like, it was my first. It was like the first really, really mutated Metroid that I'd ever fought, and I could not. I had no idea what I was doing. Seriously,
no, I died a lot on that area.
Quietly laughing at me, but yeah, it was fun.
I was encouraging too.
Indeed, talking to other people about what they were playing. Saw a girl playing something on the Switch. I was like, "Oh, what you playing?"
Mario Odyssey.
I was like, "Oh."
Because she had just got it, and I said, "Oh, she's been playing."
I hear
like
it's
10
good.
games.
Yeah. So. It was cool. It was a really fun experience. It's chock full of people.
So many.
That it is. So one thing to be prepared for if you go to a PAX, I assume they're all like this, is that it's a huge expo, a huge floor, tons of different exhibitors, but it is packed full of human beings. And because a lot of the people showing off their games have lines, particularly the video games in this portion had lines. I think all the board games were pretty tame. But the video game portion of this, would you say PAX more specializes in video games? Because I mean, we had video games and we had board games, but like the board game section was like really chill and went basically all night.
I would say that there are more video games as opposed to board games.
Right.
And I think that's one of the benefits of having not as many board games is because it's so spread out and people don't have to crawl together. But I mean, whenever we split up for food at one point. Like we came through the expo hall and like the board game area was packed. So I don't think it's more. I would say it's a bit more oriented toward video games.
I will say,
but not as crucial.
We're saying board game, but honestly, I think a lot of the people that were there for more of like TCG type thing.
Yeah, sure, but I mean,
because there were Magic tables for days.
Magic's got a big,
and it was full of people. Yeah. And there was a game I think called Legion.
Yeah.
Legion. That seemed to have
quite
quite a big. I think that's what it was called. Or Legionnaires, something to that effect. It seemed to have quite a bit of a following there as well. So yeah, but anyway, that portion, the TCG and the board game portion of the floor and the con
tabletop is better.
Tabletop. That's a good word. Yeah.
It's a tabletop.
That portion of it was open quite late into the night. I think.
Yeah, it stays open for a while.
Whereas the
video game portion,
Prime Expo, video game portion 6. Closes at 6 every day, which I didn't realize the first day. So this one of my follies was the first day we were there. I saw there were a lot of there were various tournaments from the tabletop area. So there was a tournament for Smash Up, and I really like Smash Up, and a tournament for Boss Monster. There's also a tournament for King of Tokyo, but I didn't get into that one. That
went super quick,
really fast. Yeah, no,
that was gone like when we got up there.
I think they had a really good system for sign-ups
for entries.
Entries and well, because they just had them. They basically have cards with the time and the game and the date and everything, and you just pull a card from whatever game you want to attend later, and then when you show up later, you just show them that you have the card. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, when you have your locator card, and you're like, "This lets me duel." Yeah.
Oh, what a nerd!
Did you watch Yu-Gi-Oh?
I watched a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh on Twitch in the past
month. Gosh, that's right. I forgot that was on there.
Like
Did you watch it as a kid?
No. I mean, I watched a couple of episodes. I think I watched a couple episodes during Dueling Kingdoms, but that's it.
You're a strange anomaly.
I watched. I was still like, even as a young kid, I was into the Japanese anime, and I didn't have a place to get that stuff from.
Eddie. Mr. Eddy, looking down upon us.
I only prefer the subs over the dubs. The dubs are trash.
Great all sub of them, soapbox.
Except for Dragon Ball for some reason. Yes. But you know.
Oh man. So
plebs.
What were we talking about? Right, the tournaments. Yeah. So I spent what amounted to several hours doing that. Like I played a game that day, and that was Brawlhalla, which I got embarrassed at because I don't play on a controller.
Yeah,
I've always played on a keyboard.
That's my first time playing, and I did better than you.
You did so much better than me. I was like, "Go Eddie, do it! Take that stock." But so they had a thing where you could play a dev, and they had different ranks of prizes. So if you got a hit on a dev, you can have a lanyard or a pin. If you took a stock off the dev, you got a T-shirt. And if you beat the dev, so it's a 3-stock fight. If you beat the dev entirely,
you get a nice A10 headset from maybe Turtle Beach. I don't know, something like that. I don't think it's Turtle Beach. But
yeah. So, needless to say, neither of us got a stock off, but we both got a pin, and Eddie did so much better than me.
I got so close to getting it. He was in the red, man. Had I hit him that one time and not fallen into the hole because I didn't know the controls.
You're good. No, so you just need to get Brawlhalla and play.
Yeah, probably do get it.
You can play with me. Yeah, you probably do fine. I played today
because Smash. I'm good at Smash.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm not great at Smash, but I can hold my own for a while.
So
place fourth in a tournament.
It was good for my pride. That allowed me it encouraged me to go home and get a controller. First thing I did day after I got home was get a controller. So that's fine. So that's the only video game I played the first day.
Yeah.
And then this just because I had to make sure I was back at the tabletop area at the right time, 15 minutes before the match, whatever, to play, and then I also wanted to make sure I was eating right and all that nonsense. So we played Brawlhalla. We got in line for Monster Hunter World. We stood there for an hour. Then I was like, I need to get lunch before I go to my tournament. So I did that, got some food, went to my tournament. Didn't win my tournament, which was so frustrating.
Womp womp.
But it was a good match though. So when I first got to the table, I was sitting with everyone else who had showed up at the same time I did, and basically there were like 2 guys who had played Smash Up before, and the rest of them were just like those guys' buddies who had no idea what this game was. And I was like, yes, please. I will destroy all of you. And so the way that
Pegasus came down.
Yeah. It was going to be a 16...
Oh, Ethan boy.
It was going to be a 16-person 4 set of 4 tournament. So like we'd have 4 sets of 4 would play, and then the winner from each set would play in a final round, and the winner of that was the winner of the tournament. Which I feel was a strange way to do it, but whatever.
It's round robin, it sounds like.
I guess, is that what that's called?
Yeah.
I would have preferred the top 2 from each set go into another set of 2 4s, and then the top 2 of that go into a set of...
Yeah, it's like standard tournament.
But like,
Dealies.
That didn't really work. That's not how it works. Anyway, so I was sitting there, and we were playing like a warm-up match, and everybody was asking questions, and I was like, no, this is how that works. It's like, this is okay, yeah, that right? And so, and then like, just a few minutes later before like the judge came by and was starting everything, a few more people sat down. And the people that sat down around me were people who loved this game and had played in the tournament last year. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So essentially what it ended up being was like, there was just a set of 4 entirely new people next to me, us 4 who had all played dozens of times, people next to them, which was a similar thing of like 4 people that hadn't really played before, and then the last set was like a couple people who were good, and then other noobs. And so I was just like, what a strange match. Like, it was real weird. But we had a really good round. It was really fun. It was challenging. And I held the lead for a while and then lost it at the end like you do in Smash Up. There was some crazy stuff going on. It's one of the guys sitting like diagonal to me, he was coming in like 3rd for a bit after we'd broken him probably 2 bases at this point. And we pulled a base out that was like, anytime a monster or a minion is destroyed on this base, its owner gains 1 VP. And the lady next to me had moved one of my bosses over to it, a Leprechaun, which is the boss of the Trickster deck. And he says anytime anything's played with less power than him, it dies on whatever base he's on.
Oh, crap. So she just like hammered out some minions.
No, she wanted to. I think she planned to. And yeah, in fact, she had planned to. But she couldn't, ended up not being able to make it work on her turn. So it went to the next guy's turn, who was zombies. And he played like 4 minions that turn because they swarm and they spam. And so he just rang up his VP equal to me in a turn because of what someone else had done to me. Not even my decision. And I was like, this is what is going on. What's happening? And then he ended up winning.
Judge.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was real.
There should be a limit.
But yeah, and then the other girl that was with us, was sitting across from me, was also really good and close to winning as well. She was playing the aliens, and you always underestimate. They have 1 card that's an invader, that's a minion. There's like 2 or 3 copies of it in the deck. You just gain a VP by playing him. It's like you put him somewhere and you gain a VP. And they have the ability of putting things back in the hand. So she just kind of bounced that a couple of times and got real close. And I was like, oh. So it came down to like, it was real intense. Like there were like 3 different ways that it could have ended at one point. And
it's whoever gets to like 15 VP first.
Yep. No ties. So yeah, it was... It was a good, fun round. I did not win, but it was a good, fun round. And same for Boss Monster later. So, like, after that...
yeah, you didn't tell me about Boss Monster.
Oh, gosh, Boss Monster. So, it was another case of, like, I'm sitting with one person who had never played. So, it was the same thing as well. It was, I think it was 3 sets of 4 this time, rather than 4 sets of 4. 3 sets of 4 were playing, and the winner of each would play in a final round with the other winners. So... sitting next to me was a guy who had never played before. Sitting across from, or diagonal from me, was a guy who played a good bit with his friends. And like his friend had won ended up winning in the next set of 4 next to us. And then across from me was a guy who just learned how to play like 20 minutes prior, who played a game, and he ended up winning.
Wow.
It's just our experience. But we all held on. None of us died, which is incredible. None of the boss monsters were killed. None of us got 5 wounds or whatever that is. Yeah, 5 wounds. So we actually all got to the end where someone got 10 souls, and he got like 14 souls in a turn. It was nuts. But yeah, it was. That was. Boss Monster is really tough, and the strategy in that game is so. Oh, I took... It's just, you have to really think about the end from the beginning in that game.
Yeah.
And if you don't set up really well in the first 2-3 turns, it's going to be just a mess for you. And
yeah, I've only played it once with you and David.
Gosh, there's a card in it called Jeopardy, which is fantastic. And it says, it's a spell card. You can play it whenever. You play it, and it says, everybody discards their hand, draws 2 room cards and a spell card. We played that card like 4 times. Like, I got it a couple of times, and someone else got it a couple of times. Someone like pulled it out of the graveyard and used it again. It was nuts.
That sounds
like at the end of the game, it was literally just whoever didn't get screwed over the most by what everyone else was doing was going to win. Which is a lot of times how that game goes. But like early on, I took 4 wounds real fast. Like, I was at the edge of my rope the whole game. I ended up getting to like 8 souls, which is close, but not winning. Because like, I just couldn't get it. I ended up tying for one of the. So when I play Boss Monster, what you're doing in Boss Monster is you're trying to get heroes to come to your dungeon and die, and you do that by luring them there with certain types of treasure. And so you want to build your dungeon up to attract certain types of heroes and not attract other types in order to keep it manageable for yourself. And I usually try to target 2 types, like one main one and one on the side. But I was only really able to get one main one, and that was mages. And then I tried fighting for, I think, thieves on the other side, and someone always had like one more, or instead of me tying with one other person, it was like me tying with 3 people. And it like got really stacked up, and then at the end, the guy across from me got them all rather than me, and he managed to kill them all, which gave him like 14 souls. So it was rough. But again, another game that was really close and really good, but I didn't end up winning in the tournament. Even once in either of them. But I'm not better. But it was at the Boss Monster tournament that I realized that the Expo Hall closes at 6. It's like it started at 6, and then the walls just started closing to divide us. And I was like, oh crap. I've played a game today.
Trap.
Like this is I spent a whole day and I've only played one video game, and I've instead played these other 2 games that I already know how to play and enjoy. And like I had a good time doing it, but looking back, I probably would have enjoyed spending more time playing the video games. So that's what I decided to do on Saturday. Is I spent just the whole day playing games, video games in the Expo Hall, which was good. Regardless, I had a good first day and I had a great second day because of that, I think. So
yeah, it's overwhelming at first, and through the con that you're there. There's just so much to do.
Yes,
so much you can do. And
I think more so than like San Japan or like an anime con, because
definitely.
Like those cons, I'm going there. I usually go there to buy stuff. I'm going there to buy swag, have a good time, maybe see a couple of panels, have a good time, relax, enjoy myself, just envelop myself in all this nerd that I love, and participate in it by getting swag and seeing other people and hanging out with my friends. Whereas
it's mostly visual, and then you don't really have to interact with very much.
Correct.
But
that's
as opposed to PAX, where you have to actually interact with everything.
Yep. You're waiting in lines. You're on your feet. You're playing things like, man. There's that one game we played where we got to sit down. It was great.
Which one was that? Wait, did we sit down?
Yeah, it was me and you and Aaron. It was the shooter game.
Oh yeah. The robot, called. The invisible robot.
Yeah.
Arc something. Arclight? Is it Arclight?
Maybe. I don't know if I pulled something from them or not. I don't think I did.
Did you write it down?
Hopefully.
Guess I'm gonna feel bad because it was a pretty good game.
It was a really good game.
It was really fun. It's basically a 3v3 map where you have to destroy some energy pods of the opposing team, and you're invisible while doing it, but you can't really kill them. You can stun them and stuff and run away from them, but
I don't have it written down, so we're going to Google it real quick. Aftercharge.
Holy crap, it's Aftercharge. I wasn't even close. Started with
an A. Crushed it, yeah. Aftercharge is what it's called. That was a fun game. And yeah, the way they had that set up is like you're waiting in line in like teams of 3, and so you play at least 2 rounds, I think, where you play 1 round one team of 3 is the robots and the other team is the humans, and then you switch roles. It was a good time. That was a really fun game. I was real not good at it. That was I think that was the first shooter I have ever played on a keyboard and mouse.
That's so weird.
In my life.
Oh my god, that's so weird. You play fighters with your keyboard and mouse, and you play shooters with a freaking controller. You are so backwards.
That's what I was introduced to, Eddy. My first shooter. I think my first actual shooter was GoldenEye.
Well, yeah, but I mean that was like an N64
my
controller.
Neighbors, yeah, and then but my first legitimate shooter that I played on a regular basis with my friends was Halo.
Okay.
Like Halo 2.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So
you get a pass for that. Man.
Thanks.
But,
Appreciate you, Eddy. But yeah, and so that was super fun. But yeah, sitting down was great. I wish more places would have just put just a stool in front of your game.
Yeah,
so
that
I
would
could
be
sit.
pretty nice.
That would be fun.
The
the fighting game I played did that. So
me and Aaron and I played the Divinity 2 game, which was one of the other big setups, and they had like couches and stuff. We were like, this feels so good.
I bet it does. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't raging at him.
Oh, and the last game, the one we played on Sunday, I sat for
the weird RPG game.
Yeah.
Super weird RPG game.
Y2K that we thought was pronounced Yik.
Yik.
Because the 2 is a Roman numeral 2, so it's Y-I-I-K.
I thought it was an O, I was but like a weird O, but
oh, gotcha, yeah.
Y2K was made a lot more sense.
Eddy, tell us about Monster Hunter World. That's probably the biggest thing I think on our list.
So I was in line for about 2 hours, which is understandable. It was the biggest. It's the biggest.
There's a huge snaking line,
and it's not out yet. Only people got to play the demo.
It's this weekend, right?
Yes, I believe
That's in the weekend of whenever this. Well, that is in next weekend from whenever we're talking.
For PS4 and Xbox One. It's not coming out until PC until like fall or autumn, as they say.
Wow, that's a really long gap.
Yeah, that's a big gap.
They want you to buy a PS4.
Yeah,
goodness gracious.
Or an Xbox One.
No, they want you to buy a PS4.
But well, yeah, they had PS4 controllers in the displays. But
and I own a PS4 controller now.
Oh, well, you have more like 10%.
That's what I bought.
90% left.
Yeah, that's what I bought for Brawlhalla. I got a PS4 controller. I have the latest PlayStation thing I own is a PS2. Yeah. Well, maybe my PSP I guess was later than a PS2, but no.
But I was in line. I was behind these two guys. We talked a little bit, which was rare for me. I don't really talk to much people, but it's fine. Anyway, they were putting us in groups of 4 because it was a 4-party thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man.
And so they were 2. I was 1. We were looking for another person. And then, like, this super expert came up because he was by himself. And he was like, let's do the hardest difficulty. And I was like, I've never played this game before. I've never played any Monster Hunter. And there was the 2 that I was with, that I was in line with, his friend, or one of the 2, had never played before.
Gotcha.
Never played a Monster Hunter before. And he was like, yeah, let's just do the hardest difficulty. And the guy, his partner, of the 2, that hadn't played before. The one who didn't, he had played before. He was a veteran as well. Gotcha. And so he was like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like...
She had 2 veterans and 2 brand new people.
Yeah. And the guy tried to separate the veterans and me and the other new guy. But the new guy and the veteran were part of a group. So they were like, no, it's fine. So I was like, whatever. Let's just do it. We've got 4... Just carry the crap out of me, please. So we got put on the hardest difficulty, which you could die. Like the other lesser difficulties, like you only got like a few deaths or like 1 death before you lost. Apparently, it was that easy. But super hard was like you had 15 minutes to complete the mission. Like you could die as many times as you want, but you have 15 minutes. And I think. We came really close to beating it.
Oh, yeah?
But we didn't. And
what was it that you were fighting?
I don't know, Ethan. Like, I don't know the names of the monsters.
What did it look like?
I think it was like it was a dragon with like gigantic horns, and he had spines all over his body.
Gotcha. Okay.
And like he had some on his tail that extended.
A pokey dragon.
Yeah, it was a very spiny dragon. But I think we got really close. I only died twice, which was crazy.
Look at that. How many times did the other people die?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know one of the other guys died with me at one point, But I was chugging those super potions like crazy.
So do you just have this? Did you have to find it?
Yes. What kind of? I mean, it was pretty much in the vicinity, but
Right.
once we saw it. I mean, it was easy to keep track of.
Gotcha.
But
I imagine he's big.
Yeah, he's pretty big compared to the other monsters. But I think we came pretty close because it was like really tiring out. Like it was on the verge of dying before our time ran out, and I was doing a lot of good damage. I think because I was attacking its tail, which seemed to be the weak point, and I was constantly on its tail, and everybody else was like trapping it and riding it and crab and stuff.
So it's the 15-minute limit. Was that just something that they enforced, or was it like
no? It was part of
the mission?
Yeah, no, it's part of the mission. Like it gave you it had a time limit.
So like after 15 minutes, did it just like fly away or something, or what?
Well, it says mission failed.
Oh, gotcha.
And you get put to the spawn point again. But,
okay.
It's just for the demo. The demo. Well, I don't know if they have timed missions on the actual Monster Hunter World game, but I'm sure
that's
there
what I'm
are,
wondering.
but...
Probably so. So is it a game where you have to have a party to play?
I don't think so, but I was listening to one of the Capcom people talking, and he was like, "I'd be surprised." He said at one point, "I'd be surprised if you could solo this thing." So I'm sure there's party monsters and there's solo monsters.
Challenge accepted. I'm gonna name my character Kirito, and
you got to be part of the beta for
I'm
that.
gonna be that guy, along with 20,000 other people.
Yeah.
Just making an army of Kiritos that all solo the front line.
I think I would have done better had I gotten like the two-hander, because I did the sword and shield, which one of the veterans was like, "Oh, you should get that if you're a beginner. It's easy to use, easy to block, blah 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 blah." But,
basic Link combo.
Yeah, and I'm usually one for two-handers in games if I'm meleeing, and I think I would have done better had I gotten that, and we might have won. Who knows?
Probably so. It is probably your fault.
It's probably all my fault. Ugh, I'm such a bad person. I'm bad at video games.
Oh.
But it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm planning to get it, not for console, but whenever it comes for
you're
PC,
gonna have to wait
because everybody.
I think I'm gonna purchase a PS4 before that time.
I might as well. I probably will, honestly, because there are a few PS4 games that I want to play.
Yeah, that's the next console that I plan to get. Anywho's, it's just gonna take me. I'm probably gonna wait a couple months.
Yeah.
Just to.
I'm sure another iteration will come out. It's like PS4 Super Slim Deluxe Edition for $50 less than the original cost.
Yeah.
Or,
hopefully so.
The Nintendo route.
That would be really cool. Yeah, and plus I just got a Switch and just got a 2DS and some new games.
Calm down, Ethan. You're going to be overloaded. Like you haven't played games in like a year.
I know, but I love it so much. Like I'm sitting at work and I'm just like, there's so many games I want to play right now. Like I have Persona 3 FES for the PS2.
Yeah, and like you buying that has made me I kind of want to get into that because I know a lot. I mean, I don't know very much about it, but I know enough to be like, I know this is a good game.
Right.
I know this is a good series.
Same here.
Because there's a lot of my friends online play it. And
I'm ready to make
memes about it and stuff.
Ready
to
be impressed and excited and have a good time. Because
I love turn-based games, like turn-based RPGs.
And I did too. I really liked. I mean, Pokemon is a turn-based RPG,
right? Sure.
And I grew up on that. But I also loved Final Fantasy X, and I like the Final Fantasy Tactics series, which is a different style of fighting, but it is turn-based. Yeah. I also really like Final Fantasy 12 and the remake.
Turn-based strategy games.
Look, you.
I can't stand them. Like that's my epitome of like, ugh.
I love them. I think they're great. It's a good time. But so, like I said, Final Fantasy 12 has been remastered for the PS4, and that was the first moment where I was like, I guess I have to buy a PS4 now.
Well, I knew I was going to, because I actually do want to play Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, yeah, out. Right. No, it'll come out for the PS5.
Yeah. The PS7.
Yeah. That game. Supposedly it's going to come out this year, right?
It's that they're aiming for 2018.
Okay.
But
it's the closest thing to a date we've ever gotten. Yeah. Anyways.
I have to go watch some YouTube vids on like the story. Whatever it is.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, that's one of the things I'm excited to get into with Persona, because I feel like it's a pretty story-driven series, and I've never really cared too much about story in games. So I'm interested to see. I want to see if I can. Like, I want to see if there's a game with a good story that'll actually get me to care about the story, because I don't mind good story in games, but I don't play them for that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. It'll be a good time, hopefully. Yeah, I've got several games on my list right now that I want to play through, and then eventually I will get a PS4 because I do want to play. I've got several things on my list to play for that. I want to.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn, I really want to play. I really want to play the Monster Hunter World we just talked about. I really want to play Persona 5. That's what made me really think about getting into Persona because I've heard so many good things about it.
Mm-hmm.
So once I play 3 and 4, I want to play 5. Anyways. Yeah, so Monster Hunter World, good.
Yep,
you're going to get it?
Very good.
Looks great.
Looks great. It's going to be great.
Gosh, those are really cool displays.
It's really fun. The combat... I think they could streamline the combat changes a bit more, but like apparently there's like an attack phase or an attack mode and like an item use mode or something, and
okay,
that was really weird to get in and out of for me,
right?
But it was on hard mode or super hard mode or whatever it was.
Was it like so? Like were there things? Was it like Dark Souls or like in order to change anything, it didn't pause and you just had to make sure you didn't die?
Not really. So switching in and out of attack mode is like pressing a button, and I kept attacking with that button. So I kept pressing the attack button, and sheathing the weapon would allow you to use
an item.
You can't use items if you're in attack mode.
Gotcha.
Basically, and
interesting.
I don't know. It's really weird to get in between those, but I guess it's a Monster Hunter thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've not played any Monster.
I've been looking up Monster Hunter games for the PSP. Just to have more mobile things to do, so I might do that. But we'll see.
But yeah, recommended. It's going to be good.
Yeah,
everybody's looking forward to it anyway.
Yeah,
but
so we're also looking forward to it.
Yeah,
a second from us, and if either one of us gets a hold of it anytime soon, we'll have a review for you.
Yeah,
but other
probably
than that,
not going to be me.
Just this short review of the demo, which was great.
Holding out on the PC version.
Right. So outside of that. PAX it's again, as we mentioned, it's in a really cool area. No need to hammer that home, but it's just such a good place.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
It's in the very same convention center as San Japan. So those of you who've listened before, I know that David and I talked about San Japan before, and we love it. Really good con, a really good place, and I think that the area San Antonio really helps make it awesome and super fun. So day 2 of the con is when I went ham and I played a whole lot of things. And there's a section called PAX Rising, which is an area for indie developers. I mean, a lot of the developers in there are indie developers, but this is an area where PAX highlights certain indie developers they feel are doing really well or deserve your attention and recognition. Yeah. We played a game called Skeletak.
Oh, that was fun.
Super fun, in the vein of
Super Meat Boy. Yeah, it was super Meat Boy-ish. Like the dev was like said his inspiration was drawn from Super Mario Brothers and Super Meat Boy, but I didn't really get the Super Mario Brothers part. But it was very it felt
it was a platformer.
Yeah, it felt a lot like Super Meat Boy.
Gotcha.
Like especially with like the buzzsaws and stuff.
Yeah.
And
gosh, yeah, they were having a thing so you could play the demo, the entirety of it, and that day they were having a thing where you could play and it keeps track of how many deaths you get.
Yeah.
And they were seeing who gets the least amount of deaths, and the top 6 people with the least amount of deaths would receive a little plushie of the bat
of Koromon.
Yeah, sure.
Of Dark Koromon.
Yes. What did they call it?
I think her name was Ember.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And
yeah.
It's the skeleton's little bat friend that helps him and like gives him hints and stuff.
Yeah, uses magic, gives him hints, and
I think the skeleton's name was Scully.
Carries him through.
Scully and Ember.
I think that sounds right. Carry him through the Flappy Bird section.
Yeah.
Whew.
But
that game was difficult and unforgiving.
It was very difficult.
You died
16 times.
I died 45 times. You also started after me and finished before me.
You crushed I think
it.
You were like
and I was
halfway into the game.
I was having such a hard time. I died like 4 times on the same spike because I would jump onto a platform and the controls are kind of floaty, which I'm not a huge fan of in platformers, but
I thought they were great. I thought the controls were great.
I think a lot of platformers love that, and I think that's what you go for when you're doing it. I just personally am not the best at controlling that, so I would jump on a platform and I would expect him to stay on this platform, and then he would just scoot ever so slightly, fall, and land on a spike, and I'm like, you are absolutely kidding me. It was
Yeah.
Whew, that game was difficult.
I'm a big fan of platformers, so I had a lot of fun with it.
That's good. I'm glad you do. I like
I played
Donkey
Super
Kong.
Meat Boy. You like Donkey Kong, yeah. Where not everything is trying to kill you all at once.
Country.
But yeah, I got 16 deaths, and I was like third after like a few people
when
played.
You were done, yeah.
And then a person that had played the previous day started playing.
Right.
He's like, "Oh, I got 8 deaths." I'm like, "You were not should be eligible. Like, you should have those deaths count toward them."
Yes.
But
oh man.
and like another guy got like 4, and I'm sure he played the previous day too.
Probably.
And I was like, "Whatever, I'm done. Like, I'm probably gonna get knocked out by the next person."
Yeah.
I was like,
"It's okay, Eddie.
So I didn't go back.
You're a winner in my mind."
I'm a winner in my mind too. They cheated.
It was all in all, it was a really cool
I wanted
game.
a freaking plushie.
But it's good.
I wanted to throw Korum at people.
Google it. Go play it if you can.
Skeletek's going to be good. It's coming out in March, I believe.
Yeah. And it was a fun time. It was a good time. I think right before that, I played a game called Grapple Force Arena. Just wanted to make sure I mentioned it was really fun. It was really, really cool. So like your name is Rena, and you have a grapple, and you can shoot it. And that's your primary way of getting around the area, but also attacking. So you can grab enemies, pull them to you, and then throw them. But you can grab parts of things and hold them. So like you can there's an enemy that has a shield, and once you kill it, its shield is just laying there. So you can pick it up and hold it over your head to defend against things that you're walking around. It's really cool. The demo is just it gives you like 30 enemies. It's like kill all these enemies, and it's a platformer, so you're platforming around, swinging around. It's really fun. It was really cool, really well thought out, I think.
There were a lot of platformers this year.
Yeah, platformers are, I think, a big indie dev thing.
Yeah. Well, last year there were a lot of like Hearthstone-like games and like turn-based strategy games. Like that was the big thing last year.
I'd imagine that being a thing, like mobile games and stuff like that. But these platformers, I think as it's become easier and easier to acquire indie games on actual consoles, like when PlayStation supports Steam, and then on the computer through Steam and things of that nature. I think platformers are just a natural thing to do because a lot of, at least in my case, when I learned to develop some games in college, platformers were one of the first things we really learned to do. And they were one of the things
it's probably like the easiest to develop as well. And I think
Asteroids was the easiest one. And then maybe a top-down RPG is pretty simple as well.
Yeah, that was pretty big last year as well. Yeah. Like those 3 types of games. But I think that the success of like Shovel Knight and like has carried over, and now is the time where people who are like, "Oh, I want to do that too," are starting to come out with their platforms.
And it's just another form, I think, of nostalgia mining, because platformers were huge in the first several generations of video games, and then 3D platformers became a thing, and your turn-based strategy sort of also entered the mix, and all of that, and so there was we had this explosion of different types of games for a long time, and I think the 3D platformer adventure games sort of held sway for a long time, especially throughout the PS2 era and things of that nature. Which are like your Jak and Daxter, your Ratchet and Clank, your Sly Cooper, and things of that nature. Yeah. Your Crash Bandicoot, your Banjo-Kazooie, or whatever the things they are.
Banjo-Kazooie or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
One of my favorite games, Ethan.
Sure.
Don't insult me.
Tell me about it, Eddie. and so I think it's cool now that we're looking back to like platformers. Only now we can make them even more beautiful. Our graphics are at this point where we can just have this really gorgeous, fun time. But I mean, I'm playing a reimagining of Metroid 2. Like on my DS, Metroid Samus Returns is super cool. It's gorgeous. And it's such a fun game. And so I think that's what it is. Like we're nostalgia mining, and we're seeing what we can add to it to make things better, have a good time, or make things. And a lot of times it just amounts to being prettier and just having smoother, better controls. So, needless to say, a few more of the things we're going to mention today are platformers. So I talked about Grapple Force Arena, I talked about Skeletek, I talked about Valhalla, we talked about Monster Hunter World. Okay, so after that, I played Rival. I don't want to say Revival. I played Rival Megagun Champion of the Stars.
Wow,
which is it is a head-to-head bullet hell game,
Mm-hmm.
where like you're playing like Galaga on steroids, or 1945 or whatever that game is, 44 or whatever that game is. Just like you're imagine your basic old school bullet hell game where you are a ship at the bottom of the screen flying upwards, and there's enemies at the top of the screen, and you're shooting at them, and you've got all kinds of different level ups and power ups that you can get and grab and take.
It definitely sounds like Super Galaga.
Yeah, that's what it is. But there's two of you playing, and you're competing to have a better score. And you can shoot at one another if you hold a button a certain way. You can turn and shoot at them. So you're seeing who can last longer. And it's basically like fighting rounds. So you're playing different matches. And if you get your bar up to a certain point, you can become the boss that the other person's fighting. So the game kind of shifts. You take this huge, awesome transformer mode. You spin around. You roll over to their screen.
That's
and
pretty
they
awesome.
have to shoot at you. And it's so freaking cool.
That sounds pretty awesome.
It is so fun. It was just such a great time. That was really cool. So that's Rival. Okay, let me bring that up. Rival Mega Gun Champion of the Stars. Give that a googs. It's real cool. It was a really good time. This is again still in the PAX Rising area. After that, I rolled around the other side and played 4 for the money. So the number 4 and then for the money, which is super cool. So there's 4 of you. You have to play with 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going to do online or not, but like we were all.
I don't see that why they
there.
wouldn't.
Yeah, that's
silly not to.
But you have to communicate a lot. That's the thing about it. Is like so there's 4 players, and they're all different colors.
Mm-hmm.
So you got like a blue.
Oh, this is the moving platform thing you're talking about.
Blue, yellow, red, and there's a gray guy.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're moving through, based off, you all have different abilities, and based off of your color, you can do certain things or can't do certain things. So there are platforms that are different colors. So like a green platform and a yellow platform, you can only stand on those if you were part of the colors that make up green. So if you're the blue guy or the yellow guy.
Oh Lord! On color theory, I'd assume.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's so interesting, and there's a lot of, and then there are enemies that come that are different colors. So only certain members of the party can take down those enemies. And you have a cumulative health, like you share a health bar. And it's super fun and challenging. There's a lot of puzzles to it, and you have to work it as a team. You have to tell people like, hey, stop moving. Please stop moving. Come back, because it'll leave whoever's behind and on the like off the screen. Yeah. And that's not cool. It's so you have to get people to stop. You have to get like the red guy to operate a switch so the other guy can jump up and do something up top so he can lift a door so the other people can get through. And then the yellow guy is one of the guys that can like hold other people. So you have to, if you're red and you have to reach a platform that's real high, but you don't have a double jump. So the yellow guy can hold you up and then jump, and then you can jump off of them onto the platform. Then the yellow guy has a double jump, so he's cool. And it's interesting. And like
sorry, colorblind people. You can't play.
No, it's rough. The blue guy has a gun. The red guy has a melee attack. And it's just the gray guy can like hold people still. It's so interesting.
Sounds very colorful.
Yeah, and you have to know your part well, and it's fun and frustrating at the same time. It's just like when you mess up, it's just like, okay, well, we have to figure this out, rather than being aggravating. I think it was really, really cool. And we played the first round with just the 4 of us, and then one of the devs watching us and sort of helping us, and then one person left. After that round, we played again, and with the dev on our team, and that was a lot of fun. So it was really cool. I'd say check that out. 4 for the money. I think during that time, Aaron was playing Skeletak. How did he do?
He died like maybe 30 in the 30s because he does a lot of like he tries to break the game and tries to like do fancy maneuvers that he thinks will help, but it doesn't in the long run. But like at one point he tried to jump Aaron? Like up a wall that you can't get around because there was like a platform that blocks you from doing that, and he's still trying.
Still trying to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, goodbye, Koromon pleasure.
Oh yes,
but it's fine. I mean,
that's good.
It's a fun time.
Let me see. Okay, so Elsie. This one was one that I had to figure out how to pronounce because it was so it's EL-513. So they're trying to use numbers like their letters. So it's Elsie. This game,
terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw you. That was like the one right beside us.
Yeah, so there's the one right next to you.
Yeah.
And it's like an homage to Mega Man, and I guess kind of Shovel Knight, like you were saying. So there, you play as this. I guess her name is Elsie. This chick.
Nah.
And you can look at it. And before going in, you can choose like a class. So you can be like your standard one. You can be an assassin. You can be like a marauder or a ranger or something. I don't know. Maybe the last one. And that gives you different stats. And just allows you to play a game a little bit differently if you like. That's like Shovel Knight, right? They do different things. Because you can have there's 4 different guys you can pick from, right?
Well, each character has their own story and levels to play. But gotcha. They do different things. Gotcha. But it's their own story.
Right. Okay. So I mean,
you have items and stuff that you can do crazy stuff with.
Okay. So it's really cool. As you play through it, you have a little charge attack, you have a dash, you have a little parry you can do if you time well enough and get good at it. And you essentially destroy these random monsters that pop up, and you get health and benefits and experience from doing that. And as you play, as your experience and money accumulates, you become eligible for upgrades, which are randomly generated. You go through a different list, so every time you upgrade, you can upgrade mid-fight, you can upgrade while you're fighting. You upgrade, it gives you a choice of 5 different things, and you can make your explosions bigger, or have yourself heal a little bit every time you kill something, or have add a shockwave to your bullets or to your ammunition to freeze enemies for a second. And it's just really, really cool stuff. And I got through just about all of it, I think. Because there's a tutorial level, and there's your first level and your first boss. I got through that. And there's 2 more levels and a boss. I got up to that second boss. I died on the boss. But and it's roguelike, so it after I died on the boss, I went all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah. So
you have to get through it without dying. Mm. And I was like, I love this game. It's really fun. It's really cool. But that would annoy the crap out of me.
Give me a checkpoint, please.
I wouldn't mind going back to the beginning of the level for that boss.
You had to go through the two levels to get back to the boss.
No, I had to go through all the way back to the beginning of the game.
Oh my god! Wow.
That's what I'm saying. That would be terribly annoying. I wouldn't mind if I had to go back to the beginning of the level of the boss. You know what I mean? The first 2 levels that I had to fight to get to that one boss.
Do you have lives, or it's just this is it?
Yes. Oh. You have health.
I see.
And you gain it as so you can kill things and gain health. And when you dash, you're invulnerable. There are ways you keep yourself alive as you play. So you have a life, and you have a large health bar. And your health bar increases, I think, as you.
So you only have 1 life.
Level up. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you just have 1 life.
If you die, you die.
If I recall correctly. Yeah.
Nice.
And then between the major levels, you have options to upgrade your gun, use different types of guns for the level. It's really fun and interesting. It's everything I like in a good platform shooter. So I want to play it. I was maybe put in my 2 cents was maybe put in a difficulty level or
where it gives you checkpoints.
A different play style where if I wanted to play rogue, I could, and I could just go through the whole thing in one sitting. But I can't stand being punished that much for dying the first time I see a boss.
Yeah.
I'm just I guess because I have to figure out how to beat it, right? So I'm likely going to die at least once. So but yeah, it just I don't know. They may very well come out with something where you can get checkpoints, and hopefully they do. But I don't like that particular thing about it. But everything else about the game I really love. The music was also great. So the guy walking me through everything was the music guy for the game, and man, the music was cool. It was pumping. It was really fun. It was good. And it fit the mood really well. It's really intense. And I could hear it and respond to it even in that place, which was ridiculously loud. And if you without headphones, it was impressive still. So it's good. It was a good time. I like the game. I hope they give me that option to not have to go back to stuff. But I'll probably play this when it comes out. It's been a good time. You play anything else that you like?
Well,
That was all I
it's
played
already
in
out,
Rising.
but we played Divinity. Like I said, me and Aaron played it. It's kind of like Diablo 3 or Diablo 2.
What's Diablo 3 or Diablo 2?
Holy crap, Ethan.
I've heard these words.
Okay, let me think of another reference.
You can do it. I believe in you. Is it like Dark Souls?
No, it's not at all like that.
Is it like Doom?
No.
Is it like
it's so
Halo?
So you have a fixed map, and you can walk your avatar around in it and talk to people or fight people or whatever. But in this particular case, like a big part of it seems to be the social aspect, where you can like talk to people and make them like you can be witty with them or convince them to do something or bribe them, things like that. And it's pretty good. It's turn-based combat as well for some reason, which is really weird. It took me by surprise. Which is the big difference between this game and like Diablo. It's turn-based, and you have like it's actually turn-based strategy in a way, because like you position yourself, you can aim your attacks and stuff from ranged. It's kind of difficult to play on a controller actually, but I can see a mouse and keyboard doing a lot better with the controls, and I think that's what they were displaying. I think that it's coming to console. So they had PS4 control. No, they were on Steambox. The Steam machine.
Okay, gotcha.
Actually, so I don't know if they actually come to console. But anyway, the controls were pretty weird. But like I said, it could be the mouse and keyboard was a lot better. But it's already out, and it's like $20, and I actually recommend it, and I'm planning to get it myself.
Cool. All right.
Because it like you start out on this like pirate ship, or not exactly a pirate ship. It's like a police ship, I guess.
Gotcha.
And a Magister police ship. But and you have to get your way out. Like you can be one of the story characters, or you can create your own character.
Oh, cool.
The story characters have their own like little goal in mind, and customs you can create your own like little tag or whatever. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I don't really like turn-based strategy games, but I could see myself getting into this one.
Cool.
Pretty good. Divinity 2.
Divinity 2. Yeah. Fun. Interesting. I just remembered one that I didn't put on here. Speaking of like those card games you mentioned, I played a game called Eternal, which is just Hearthstone. So, but I liked it enough. I was like, I've never played Hearthstone. I didn't care to get into it. But Eternal was fine. It's like you're playing through like a story, and the people you fight in the way of Hearthstone. So like it just is that. Like I can't. It's you have your deck. You play sigils, which is your mana pool. Different types of sigils. There are different types of things in Magic. Like there are different types of things in Hearthstone. It's nothing new. But that was an interesting time. That's the first one I've really played. I never played Hearthstone, but David liked it, so I don't know.
It's free if you want to play it.
Yeah, it's free, so it was a good time. And I've played it. That's the only game I've played since leaving PAX of these, because I think most of these aren't out yet. But also, it was just free and already out, so I've played it. It was a good time. Lightfall. Okay.
Tell me about Lightfall.
I loved this game. I want it. It might be out. I'm not exactly sure. But Lightfall was super, super fun game. It's beautiful. It's another platformer. And it's a platformer where you can create your own platforms, kind of. You have this option to do that. And you can go real fast. Real fast. And
Sonic.
It is beautiful. And it is story-driven. And it's narrated for you.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you telling me about
and
that.
It's gorgeous.
Like
it's such a cool way to go about it. So you've got this owl that's sort of narrating everything as you're playing this game. So it's no cutscenes. It's not like, well, I mean, there are kind of cutscenes. But like loading screens that talk to you about things. And there's no like nothing that takes you out of the game. Like, it's telling you a story as you're walking through this world and playing this game. And
it's very Bastion-like.
It's really cool. Yeah, I've heard of Bastion. David and Scott played it, and I guess it's cool and all, but I've just never experienced it. So
of course not.
It was a fun time. Look, Eddie. I'm a wee babe in the rounds of video games at the moment. So I took like
we'll get you
basically a 10-year break, so I'm getting back into it. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. Super gorgeous. Okay, it's coming March 2018. Yeah. To Steam, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna put it on my Switch.
A video game for the Switch.
That's the other thing, is a lot of these games, a lot of places were advertising more than just Steam. It's like, we're coming to Steam, we're coming to PS4, we're going to Xbox One. And a lot of them were like, hey, we're going to be on the Switch. I'm like, yes, please. Do that. Because there are plenty of indie games on the Switch right now as it is. Like, there's a lot of things on the little marketplace. But it was cool to be able to play some of the things that are coming and be like, yes, I definitely want this. So that's a good time. I'm excited for this game. It's going to be super fun. The other game we played, the last game I played that I can talk about is the one we played on the last day, which is Y2K. Which, the majority of which we played with a busted controller cable.
Yeah, it was the USB controller. Cable was kind of ready.
Annoying.
Yeah.
Like, it just wouldn't accept my X button or my input. Yeah, I'd move one way and he wouldn't move. I'm like, okay, I guess I can't go that way. And then I'd pull another way and he'd just start moving the way that I'd first put. Like, I took my hand off the controller and he was just walking. And I was like, what is going on? But that made it strange. But it's not a discredit to the game. The game was fine, I guess. It's not the kind of game I think that I would get into.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like, it was very, like, it was kind of a cel-shaded game, but also, like, 8-bit. Like, it had an 8-bit feel. It was 3D, though. Like, it's like RPG turn-based game. Yeah.
It was turn-based, that's right.
Yeah.
So I heard some people saying it felt or looked like what's the game that Ness comes from?
Earthbound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it alluding to that.
I feel like it seemed very normal at first and then crazy stuff happened.
Yeah.
Like otherworldly, weird,
yeah, you start off in a neighborhood
nonsense.
And then
like
a meteor strikes the earth.
Very strange things. Like I'd say akin to like, oh gosh, what's the Cthulhu guy's name?
Cthulhu?
No. Like the man who created that world. The writer.
Lovecraft.
Lovecraftian, yes. It felt almost Lovecraftian.
Cthulhu guy. Cthulhu
guy. Yes, I was thinking of Cthulhu. You got it. The Kraken? Yeah.
No, yeah, it's very H.P. Lovecraftian.
Yeah, I'd say so. So like, yeah, it's just normal. This guy comes home from college and he's like, I just graduated college, it's great, I'm gonna go back to my hometown. And like you go to your house and there's a big welcome sign in the front and your mom's like, hey, can you go get some groceries? I left you a list. And I'm like, these parents didn't come to their son's graduation and then go home with like it's just like, oh good, you did that thing? That was a great job. Here, can you go to the store? Then I attempted to go to the store, couldn't find the store. There's no store in this town.
No store.
Where's the store, Eddie?
I don't know.
Instead, I followed this cat to this hotel in the other dimension. It was strange. It was a strange good time.
It sounds like Persona, actually. Persona, rather.
Yeah.
Persona.
Persona?
Persona.
Yeah. And then we had a panda friend.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Named Panda.
Like you do in all the media that has pandas in it.
Yeah.
It's Panda.
It was good. I don't want to like talk too much crap about this game, so I'm sure it has an audience. Yeah. It's probably not a game that I'll pick up, but seemed like it was well put together.
I'd probably watch a Let's Play of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Or a stream of it or something.
But yeah. Moral of the story, if you're going to PAX, play games. That's what PAX is for. Play games that you have not played before. That's also what PAX is for. Don't spend a day like me.
There's a lot of tournaments. Like, yes, they do a lot of tournaments and stuff. And,
I'd say get into a tournament if you are actually going to be competitive in it. I think I was competitive in the Smash Up one. It just didn't work out for me. But yeah, I loved it. I had a really good time.
Do you even know what the prizes were? Like, did they have prizes?
I have no idea. I don't know what they were.
Then you would have been
should've.
maybe have been more competitive to get them.
I was pretty competitive. Like, it's just those
you
games.
Just punch people and you're like, victory! Now give me the prizes.
Those games are just kind of difficult, and so like, and they can go so many ways. Smash Up and Boss Monster, like, it can go any which way until the very last round, essentially. And so
until someone wins.
Okay. This is the business card for the audio guy from Elsie.
In case you want to make a game, want some cool music for it.
Indeed.
Mr. Eric something.
It was a good time. Eric Benaim. I probably pronounced your name wrong. I'm sorry if you're listening, Eric. You're great. The sound was awesome. I loved it. But yeah, PAX was so fun. I really enjoyed it, and we'll definitely PAX again.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to. I don't know if you
obviously. I'm definitely going to PAX again. It was a good time. So yeah, I'd say my recommendation if you're going, Ethan's opinion.
Ethan's tip of the day.
Play games you haven't played before. Make time to do that, and figure out which area is going to be open less and spend time in there. Like the expo hall for video games closed at 6 every day. So like, get your time in, and there are lines, and you will have to wait. So just
likely standing.
Yes, likely standing. So deal with that. Just understand that's going to happen, and go and just do it, so you can play some games and have a good time. Because that's where you're going to have fun at PAX, is playing games. There was like a couple booths where they were selling things, and I did buy games while I was there. I bought Heart Gold, and I bought Persona 3.
Yeah.
So that's good. Mm-hmm. And if you want to go do that, that's perfectly fine. There are some reputable sources will sell you good games, but play games while you're there.
Tons of merch for PAX. Like they have pins that you can trade with people.
Truth.
There are little games that you can play with your badge. There's PAX XP.
Right.
That you can win prizes and stuff with it.
Yep.
There's a console free play room where you can
I didn't even go up there.
Did
y'all end up going there?
Yeah, we went for a little bit, and Aaron played Smash for a bit with people, but I just watched. He almost did. Like, he came in second the first game, and it was very close. And then the second game, like, these two people like teamed up on him because he was so good.
For context, Aaron's really good at Smash.
Yeah, he's really good.
Of the four of us that were there,
yeah,
he was definitely the best.
But
I was definitely the worst.
Yeah, Rinbot was
Rinbot's good.
Yeah, and you could like rent. You can borrow games, and they have like tons of consoles and TVs set up that you can play anything you want. Like there's a new gen side, and there was a retro side. You could play NES and Sega Genesis and things like that as well. So
excellent.
It's pretty nice. And they're like, similarly, they had a board game or tabletop free play as well, where you can get any sort of tabletop that you can imagine and play it with people for free.
It's a good time. It's a great place if you like any kind of game, video game, board game, tabletop, TCG, all of that nonsense. It's a good time, and they go out of the way, I think, like we've just explained, to make sure that you have something to do there that's fun.
Yep.
So
there's always something.
Definitely recommend. It's a good time. And then there are panels as well.
Yeah. And there was concerts. I didn't go to concerts.
Right. I didn't go to concerts either.
I was like, I'm too tired.
Yeah. No. I agree, man. And I thought, like, I went to a panel with y'all, which was actually a good time. It was fun. I think the panels are a good thing to go to if you just want to sit for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what we did. We sat and played on our DS while listening to these people play Jackbox games.
Yeah.
And had like some Twitch or other
YouTube
otherwise internet famous people in the video game world up on a panel on stage playing Jackbox. While 500 of us
tried to get on our phones.
Watched it, yeah. I had it. I was just fine. You didn't. You had a hard time.
Thanks, Sprint.
But yeah, it was good. It was a fun experience. This is a very different con.
Yeah.
Of all the cons I've been to, it's different than what I've ever really been to. I think,
and I think it's like I said, the main point is the interactivity with everything. Right. Like you actually have to put yourself out there and actually do things with the things that are there, as opposed to just watching or listening.
Right.
In an anime con.
So it'll definitely take it out of you. Be aware. Bring some snacks.
You will be exhausted.
And some water. Listen to our con survival guide and do those things. But it was a good time.
But like I said, it's smaller compared to the other ones because it just started.
Which is
for a con.
Yeah, like that's an interesting statement to make because it's huge.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it really is huge. Like, but that's the smallest of the
yeah,
PAXs.
it's crazy.
And it's kind of disappointing because like Nintendo wasn't there this year, which is understandable. They didn't have any big things coming out like they did last year.
Right.
I really would love to see Riot Games there, but Riot and PAX have a weird relationship. Like, it's kind of rocky.
Huh.
There was disagreements like in places.
Oh,
I think at one point they tried to put one of their championship games there, and like everybody wanted to see just that. Like they came just for the league tournament.
Oh, really?
And I think they were mad about it or something.
Yeah. But I mean, that's if you're gonna host a championship for like one of the biggest online things ever, that's what's gonna happen. But
I think they've gotten better.
I imagine that was PAX West.
Oh yeah. And I think they've gotten better, like relationship wise, but they weren't here this year. I think one of the esports teams from Riot came to talk about esports stuff, but I'm not really interested in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to see more presence.
Gotcha.
But that's just me.
Cool.
I might go to one of the other PAXs just to see the comparison. Like, I'd love to go to PAX West.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I think that would be really cool.
Just to see how different and how bigger it is. Yeah. How much bigger.
I would love it if Nintendo came to the next PAX South.
I'm sure they will, because I mean, at that point next year, we'll probably have like talks of, if they haven't come out this year, they'll have talks of like Smash, and Animal Crossing, and
hopefully
lots of Switch stuff.
Woo-hoo.
But yeah, last year it was like the month before Switch came out, so they had all kinds of Switch stuff.
Yes. There. Have you looked at the mini direct they did?
I did. Yes, I did. It looks interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I can't actually remember many of the games that were on there. But
I think I will pick up Hyrule Warriors.
Oh yeah. I haven't actually played that
because I played Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
Older ones went on the PS2, and I really enjoyed those. And I've always kind of wanted to branch out into the other Warriors because they have Samurai Warriors. They have freaking Gundam did a one that I really would like to play, but I haven't played.
One Piece has one.
Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's just tons of it, and they're enjoyable. They're a good time. Mm-hmm. They're a really good hack and slash game, I feel, for what I like, the way I like to play games. And
Fire Emblem Warriors just came out.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I've seen someone play Hyrule Warriors, and I was like, that's really cool. But it was on the Wii U, so it just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I might get it for the Switch, because I haven't actually played any Warrior game. And I was interested in Hyrule Warriors, but I never got it for the Wii U.
Yeah, I think most of the things they announced in the mini were ports.
Yeah, unfortunately,
with the exception of like the Kirby game and the tennis.
Yeah,
Mario Tennis.
Mm-hmm. Which I also might get because I love Mario Tennis on the 64.
See, a lot of people I've recently heard of people just being like, "Man, Mario Tennis was so great! Like the early ones were so good, and the ones was so crap." I was like, I never would have known that this game had a following ever. It's freaking Mario Tennis.
Yeah, right. So and you wouldn't expect it. Like it's a sports game from Mario, and they have like a lot of sports Mario games. But Mario.
That
Tennis,
being said, I did play the heck out of Mario Golf on the 64.
Oh, Mario Golf is so good. Like I have that game on my 3DS.
My friend and I rage on that game a lot. But yeah, so I don't know, Matt. If you get it, I'll play it with you and see what all the hubbub is about.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
That's because you can do that. Yeah. With your Switch. You can give someone a Joy-Con and play together.
Yep. Have a great time. But, not much else to say. PAX was a great time. Walking around San Antonio was fun. Got myself some pho.
Pho?
The first night, yeah.
What's pho?
It's a noodle dish.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's real good.
I don't know.
And then we got to enjoy the freaking the food court that we love so much.
Oh yeah.
There's a food court at the River Center Mall, and if you're ever there during a con, just go experience it. It is packed full of people, and the Chinese food places are ruthless. They give out samples, and
hey, we got chicken too.
Don't take no for an answer. It is so funny. It's my favorite thing. But you make sure you go to.
You have food in your hand, they will still want you to try it.
Hey, don't eat that. Eat this. You go. Yes.
Dark Souls Remastered. I didn't even think
Yeah,
about
Dark
that.
Souls Remastered.
Holy crap, that's going to be on the Switch.
Yeah, bro.
I would get it on the Switch.
Yeah.
I would play it on the Switch.
I'll get it on the Switch. That'll be the first time I play a Dark Souls game.
Oh my god. I was just looking through like the
right.
The mini announcements. It's like as opposed to
but no, you need to go to this.
Oh, The World Ends With You? That's going to be good.
I've heard of that.
Oh my god, you've heard of it.
Look, Eddy. I was a busy man for the past several years.
No, I played for a while.
I'd like to play it.
A little bit. I played a little bit of it. I didn't actually get too far in it, but I will probably be getting that as well.
Yeah, it's a good time. Whew.
So yeah, food court was really good. It's fun.
Oh yeah. Make sure you go to Bourbon Street Cajun Grill.
Yeah,
which is a Chinese food place, despite its name. Get their bourbon chicken. That's what they're there for. It is legit.
Delicious.
It's the best thing they have. Oh.
But if you don't want Chinese food, there's also a Taco Bell, a Dairy Queen,
there's an IHOP.
An IHOP Express.
There are 2 Italian places.
There's a Blimpie.
There is a Blimpie, and there's a Louisiana Kitchen.
Yeah. And if you don't want to if you're one of those high class people, there's a Fogo de Chao, which is a Brazilian steakhouse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a Hooters. There's a Chili's.
There's a Chili's. We've eaten Chili's a couple of times.
Yeah, we didn't this year.
No.
Well, at least we'll go when we go to San Japan.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, it's good stuff to eat everywhere for any price range.
Oh my god, there's so many restaurants down the river.
Yeah,
there's tons.
Yeah, tons of Mexican places. There's a Whataburger.
There is a Whataburger.
Delicious.
There's a Denny's.
Oh gosh, freaking screw Denny's.
Apparently, Renbot went to Denny's one morning when we were
He
sleeping, and it was apparently like super packed, like out the door.
I imagine it was
out the door. Everybody waiting for their food that
he went that morning when he got up really early and he was craving mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay. I was like half asleep when he said that. And for some reason, I thought it was you.
No.
I thought you had woken up and you were like, I need some mozzie sticks.
Well, I do love some mozzie sticks. Like, I do crave some mozzie sticks on occasion.
That's funny. Well, yeah, he just woke up at like 5:30 and he was like, I'm going to get a cup of coffee and some mozzarella sticks from Denny's. And I'm like, I guess if you're going to Denny's, we can't really judge what you get. That's fine.
And then he came back with a Starbucks cup because he couldn't get into Denny's.
Oh, man.
Long time.
No, I despise Denny's because I've never been in a Denny's that has had quick service. I've always been there for like 3 hours to eat a pancake. And it's been... Anyways. Yeah, it's a great con. PAX South was awesome. Super fun. We'll do it again. And yeah,
heck yeah,
you should too.
We'll review it then as well. Next year's.
Excellent job. I think that about does it for today. Where can you find us? You can find us on Twitter.
Tell us.
On Twitter at TMYKPod. We're on Facebook and YouTube. You can find the pod on Podbean, on iTunes, on Google Play, on Castbox, on Stitcher, on hopefully other places. But you can find those. Those are the main places you can find the show. Thank you for listening. We will be in contact. We'll tweet out as we regularly do. Please contact us. Let us know if you went to PAX and you're listening to this. Let us know what your favorite games were. Let us know what other conventions you go to. If you go to any gaming conventions that are fun and that are really cool. I really want to try Gen Con eventually at one point. It's a convention up north where they do, it's primarily centered around tabletop games, and I would love to do that. But maybe I will eventually, and I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let us know.
Rich and famous.
Yeah, super rich and super famous. All that podcast money. Let us know what cons you go to, what you like, and if you went to PAX South, let us know what you enjoyed about it. But yeah, that's it. My name is Ethan.
I'm Eddy.
And we are those nerds you know. Bye!